Yeah, so we are speaking to Comrade Muleka Kamanisha from the Zambia Congress of Trade Unions. He currently serves as the Deputy Director in Research and Economic Affairs. Comrade Muleka, I hope you are well, my leader.
Yes, I'm well, my leader. Thank you for having me. And yeah, it's been long, but we are okay.
We finally got here.
Yeah, things have been moving.
Yes. All right. So I wanted to firstly ask you. I mean, a lot of people who might watch this might not know exactly how ZCTU, what kind of an animal is ZCTU in Zambia, besides just knowing the name. Can you briefly outline for instance, the number of affiliates, and then where the affiliates are mostly located? ZCTU affiliates are mostly located in the economic sector.
Thank you, Comrade. Most obliged. Most obliged. Well, yes, the ZCTU simply means acronym is standing for Zambia Congress of Trade Unions. The Zambia Congress of Trade Unions basically is a workers' organization. It is one of the federations in Zambia that is organizing workers. So we draw our affiliates from both the public and also the private sector. Currently, as it stands, we have 53 affiliates. 53. But of course, the larger 53 years. Okay. 53. Just to mention also that we do have other federations other than the ZCTU itself. We have, for instance, the Federation for Free Trade Unions, which is more or less like second federation, but in terms of numbers, I think they only have 7 affiliates.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So when you talk about when you talk about the membership in terms of the totals, well, yes, but they're quite far in terms of numbers here.
Okay. So we can still safely assume that the ZCTU is still the dominant workers' federation in Zambia.
Very dominant because when we do some comparisons, I think our colleagues, they're very far in terms of numbers, like I indicated, and I think they draw most of the membership from those from the financial sector, and you know the financial sector usually they don't employ as many people.
Yeah,
I would compare, for instance. Yeah, of course we have. The teacher unions, the biggest 3 teacher unions are with us. And then we also, I must also mention, Comrade, that we also have associate members from the informal economy.
Oh, okay.
Marketeers and vendors. So we also have associate from that economy.
From that sector. Okay. No, that is good. I think the issue of the informal sector has become quite pertinent during COVID, especially issues around how they can be compensated and things around social security, because at certain periods their work was forced to be stopped. They were forced to stop selling. I don't know whether it happened in Zambia, where there was shutdown. People were forced to stay at home.
Exactly. Yes. Even as we speak now, some of those informal economy workers have actually failed to rebound back for work.
Yeah.
Died with the shutdowns, especially that at a point when some of small units were operating, for instance, bars. Some of them were operating restaurants. Some of them were even operating within markets, just as marketeers selling vegetables and so on. Yeah. So there was a time when they were asked to start doing schedules, for instance, where they will have a group. Yes, they will have a group that would come into the market on Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. Then the next time it will be the other group also joining in. But due to those breakages, some of them actually have failed to come back.
Yeah. So
yes. And yeah, we have lost a number of employees also, especially when it comes to restaurants, because most of those are actually informally employed. And also nightclubs also, who had quite a number of workers also working informally. A lot of nightclubs have actually failed to come back to operations. So the COVID actually has been kind of an eye-opener to us.
Yes.
It has been an eye-opener for the Zambia Congress of Trade Unions to sort of, try to see how we could strategize in doubling our efforts, in ensuring that how do we entrench decent work in this economy, So there are a lot of discussions actually going around now regarding the transitioning from informal to formal. The agenda, the ILO agenda to transition from informal to formal. Then what role should ZCTU play in that regard? And yes, so there are a lot of discussions actually that are going around now, and so we are hoping that as things get better, we get our foot on the ground. Probably we can further our discussions with the new government. Now, we have a new government that is in place.
Yes.
Although they haven't set their foot, they are still more or less like in a honeymoon mode.
Yes.
But we're telling them, say no.
The honeymoon must get over.
Working now.
So I think amidst all those challenges, you have now elected a new political party into power with a completely new president, and I'm sure that even the cabinet will be completely new, and maybe new policies as well. Firstly, was the new regime supported by workers, and what was the point of support, if yes?
Well, yes. I think from the workers' point of view, we were a divided group in terms of who supported who.
Okay.
Yeah, because what the previous regime did was that actually they infiltrated the trade union movement to a very large extent. Yes, to a very large extent. And even among the affiliates of the Zambia Congress of Trade Unions, there were some among them who were actually very, very supportive of the previous regime.
Yes.
And some of them doing so openly, actually. Even disregarding the advice that was coming from Congress.
Yes.
So we had quite a number of them who were.
Was it because there were party members who were higher up the echelons of the party structures? Hello?
Sorry, Comrade, are you able to get me?
Yeah, I'm getting you now. You were frozen for a minute. I was asking whether the divisions was because there were people who were party members of the previous regime who were maybe serving in higher structures of the party, the previous ruling party.
Not really, actually, because the way the trade union movement is structured in Zambia is such that if you are in the labor movement, of course, you can support a political party of your choice, but you cannot participate in leadership directly. And so we had quite a number of our colleagues, especially those in the mining sector, who openly actually, showed their support for the previous ruling party. In that regard, and to the extent that they would even appear during some of their meetings. That put the Congress in a very, very difficult situation. To the extent that colleagues like the Secretary General Cosmas Mkuka, were seen not to be supporting the government, and actually that even costed his job in the teaching service. Yeah,
really?
He was actually, yes, retired in national interest, but then somehow, at least we still have some remnants of the good guys in the judiciary.
Yeah.
And so the Attorney General had to prevail. Yeah, the Attorney General prevailed in preventing
his arbitrary retirement by the regime.
Yeah. So the Attorney General at least prevailed in preventing that to happen, and so we still have him around.
All right.
And but now that the previous regime has left, we see some kind of unity again, which is coming up
within the
among
Congress.
the unions and the ZCTU. Within the Congress, and yes, and the leadership of Cosmos is trying to bring them together so that we could discuss and see the way forward as to how we build our unity.
Yeah. So
going forward,
does the ZCTU have a pact, maybe a package of issues that they want to present, or they've presented to the new government, or some kind of promises to workers, that the new government comes into office having promised?
There are quite a number of issues, really, because I would say that the ZCTU being one organization that has been so much engaged into Zambian politics for a long time, you'd always find that when we speak about labor issues, we tend to have usually some from the regime that has won power now. We seem to be speaking from the same hymn book on most of the issues. And that is why probably comrades like Cosmas Mkuka were seen in bad light by the previous regime.
Oh, okay. So while they were in opposition, you were singing from the same hymn book.
Yes. The issues. Yeah, the issues that we're emphasizing on, for instance, we are bread and butter issues. To start with, the economy had started biting, where back as far as the 2018, 2017, things started looking very gloomy regarding the economy. And so we started flagging the flag around that period. And then the opposition also, of course, took advantage of that. And, they would support us on many issues. When it comes to the governance, matters of governance and the rule of law, there were issues of civic space, the previous regime, they were becoming heavy-handed, to the point where they would, stop civil society, they would stop trade unions to meetings, even demonstrations, for instance. So they become heavy-handed in that regard. You'd find that we. Yes. So it is now.
Yeah, go ahead, come.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry. So I was just trying to add that now with the current regime that is in place, ensure that how this guy is now the same hymn book. How do we ensure that they implement the things that they were promising the people when they were doing campaigns? Because there were issues to training. There were issues on gender issues. Changing a bit of laws that would allow us to participate into civic discussions freely, and also it matters to do with the gender issues, the joblessness of workers, especially the young people, and all those issues that we are flagging. Especially the young people. Actually, it's the young people that removed the previous regime. Amidst all the threats. Yes, the previous regime.
So
yeah, amidst all the threats, amidst all the there was a lot of
all the intimidation and brutality.
Quite a number of people, some actually, even died. We had a few people that were killed actually
during the election season.
Yeah, but I mean, yes, during the election season, quite a number of people lost their lives. Yeah, but we
didn't get that in the media.
No, you couldn't get it, obviously.
Yeah. So how bad is the situation in the economy? Sorry to cut you. How bad was the situation in the economy that you hope will get better? I mean, we know that Zambia, for instance, is very strong in mining. As a strong mining industry, and then you have just spoken about youth unemployment. How bad was the situation, and where do you hope revenue will come from as ZCTU when you do your analysis? Where do you think the government can tweak? I've heard the president speaking mostly about corruption. Maybe the allegation is that most of the money was lost through corruption. Corruption. But where do you think the money will come to allow new younger workers into the economy and things like that as the ZCTU?
Into the economy. Yeah. The way things stand, to a large extent, remains a mono economy. In that the mining industry, like you had indicated, is still the strongest sector where we draw most of our, especially foreign exchange.
Yes.
So the mining industry will still have to play a very big role in rebounding the economy back.
Okay.
Because what happens with an economy like ours is that when there's a scarcity of foreign exchange earnings, the dollar to be specific, that has an effect on our local currency. And automatically when the local currency is weakened, then we have skyrocketing prices of goods and services in the economy. And yes, inflation, I think, had risen from a single digit. Now by the time these guys were living, it was somewhere almost close to 30%.
Oh, that's high.
The consumer price index. It has gone to somewhere almost 30%, 27. It was trending between 27 to 30%, somewhere there.
Yeah, that's quite high.
So the majority of the people could not afford simple basic goods.
Yes.
I think that is what. So the extent went to that level where even when you talk about the African. In the African context, when you talk about the economy, it's an issue of bread and butter.
Yes.
If people cannot afford, cannot afford to have basic goods in their homes, to feed their children, that becomes problematic.
That becomes a
so
problem.
Obviously, so the mining industry still becomes the pillar in this case.
Yes.
Then secondly, we need to do something with the agriculture sector.
Okay.
The agriculture sector has a lot of potential, given the geography of the economy, because we are relatively, of course, even if we're in the southern part of Africa, we're partially in the tropics also. So in terms of the rains, even if it is rain-fed agriculture, but we also have plenty of water bodies. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we host close to 40% of the water bodies in the region.
That's interesting.
The fresh. Yes, we host about 40% as a nation of the water bodies in SADC.
Yes.
So there's a lot of potential, in that sector also, but also we seem to have potential in the manufacturing industry.
Okay.
Where Zambia is one of those countries that had opened its doors to most of our Chinese colleagues who are coming, and they're into manufacturing, yeah, a lot of goods. You talk of food processing. You talk of small spare parts. They are in all those hardware goods, also like building materials. Yeah, the Chinese are in all those. So it's a question of how we harness these three sectors. But also not to forget the trading sector also, because most of the young people, that's where they can have the potential actually.
That's the catchment.
And what we noticed, yes. So what we noticed from this new government, what they have done is that they have also created a new ministry. We are hoping that this ministry will execute its mandate and be able to absorb as many young people as possible. They have created a new ministry, which they're calling the Ministry of Micro and Small Enterprises.
All right.
Yeah. Then they have also, they have also another ministry. Of course, we used to have it, but I think it lost its prominence in the last 2-3 regimes. That was the Ministry of Technology. You know, the young people now.
Are into doing things through technology.
Yes. Which most of the people find space in there. So there's another economy that has been created in that regard. So hopefully, all these sectors playing together, most of the young people should be able to be absorbed into employment spaces. And we know that the current guy we have at the helm of power, of course, he tends to speak more pro-capitalist, you know, but he's also a guy. He's also a guy who is speaking more on the left side, because he's been talking about, you know, how do we reduce poverty, how do we ensure that there's social inclusion, you know, aspect of gender. So with us now, I think our role as the trade union movement is to try and ensure that how do we bring these guys who seem to be more on the right, how do we bring them on the center, so that we bring them on the center.
So 2 last questions, because so that I don't hold you for too long, Comrade. The public sector, how, because I'm sensing that in SADC, a lot of governments are clamping down on the public sector in terms of salaries. We have the South African Berkeley from last year, and other countries as well. It seems like they don't want to give them cost of living increases in the SADC. What is the situation? What is the situation in Zambia?
What's the situation in Zambia?
Yeah, that has exactly been the case even here. I think the public sector have not had any meaningful increment for the last 4 years or so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it has been flat. Part of the reason why probably some of the public employees had to bring in these guys, because they spoke highly of how they are going to improve conditions of service in the public sector.
Okay.
So we are yet to see, because in the next 2 weeks, they will be announcing their first budget. And so we'll see how their budget spans out in terms of conditions of service for public service employees. But that was one of the promises actually, which was on the table when they were campaigning.
So, which as ZCTU and the public sector workers, we are looking forward to them delivering on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
On that promise, yes. We'll hold them accountable. Yes, we'll hold them accountable on that, because they were projecting even certain figures. So when we come in, we are going to increase your salaries by so much, you know, looking at the cost of living now and so on. So so we are waiting. We have done our submissions to the budget, to the national budget. We have made our own projections as to how we think that they will do some increases regarding wages. So we are here to see how they respond.
Okay. Last question, Com. I heard the president, when he was addressing the UN, talking about a new ministry. I think it's a ministry of women and is it the Ministry of Women and Environmental? I don't know, something like that. There is a new progressive ministry that I heard him speaking about it at the UN. Are you aware of these new ministries and what the impact you think it will be?
Yeah, the new ministry, actually, we used to have a minister of gender, and unfortunately, what these guys have done, they have dissolved that one to being a mayor department, yes, under the vice president's office. So that will be sitting under the vice president's office.
Okay, the issues of gender and women.
But what they have done, yes, they have taken that to the vice president's office.
I see.
But then they have created a ministry of environment. They have created a ministry of environment, like climate change and environment. If I get the name correctly, but there is such a ministry. Looking at that creation of such a ministry, I think it was just strategic in trying to tap into the resources of the discussions around climate change now.
Yes.
And how we can benefit from the resources that are being pumped into countries being compliant when it comes to carbon emissions and the rest of them. But so with the Minister of Gender, with that dissolution, when so the argument has been to say, look, even if we created the Ministry of Gender,
Sure.
They are saying no, gender has to be mainstreamed in all sectors of the economy.
Yes.
And when with the creation of the Ministry of Gender, the way it was just standing as a stand-alone, the argument was that no, look, it was just mainly speaking about women. And yet gender is more encompassing than that. And so, that was the argument. And so what they are saying is in our constitution, there is a provision of a creation of a commission, a gender commission. So they're saying what they're going to do is to ensure that this commission comes to fruition. They will create that commission. And then as a minister, it will not stand, but then they will have a department that will stand at the vice president's office. But we are here to see what the composition of this commission would be and what the functionalities of the commission would be. But they have promised that they'll create a commission. But because this one actually is a requirement in our constitution, except the other guys actually just ignored it.
Okay. No, I think we will stop there for today, Comrade. I think I must thank you for taking time from your family to share your perspectives and those of workers with us. Thank you very much, Comrade.
Thank you, Comrade. You're always welcome.
Yes.
I will appear more frequent.
Yes, please do. Say hi to the children and everyone. Thanks, Comrade.
Thank you. Whenever need be, please just signal me. I should be able to come, and we can have a chat.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Com. See you.
Great the family, Comrade. Great the family and all the comrades there. You are in struggle also. That side, but
yes, victory is certain. Victory is certain.
The kingdom will fall one day.
Yes, the kingdom. The kingdom will fall one day. That's a good one. Sharp, Comrade. Hey, okay, let me stop. Sure.